television and you're sitting to watch it. You don't know if it'll be good. Probably better than my piano playing. Enjoy. Welcome to Something Sometime. I'm your host, Trevor Spencer. Some of you people might remember me from other places. And you know what? Being as the pilot, I might as well introduce myself. So, as I said, my name is Trevor Spencer. Some people know me as the Sega Stoner. I did game reviews on YouTube, and now I'm doing this. Also, I used to rap. Yep, believe it or not, I used to rap. I used to rap under the name MT, M_T. I was in a rap group. It was called Cancer, started with K, K-A-N-C-E-R. Those were days. those are back in the past. Now I'm looking like, what, a super aged Vanilla Ice mixed with, I don't know, Donald Trump, getting really old looking here, but what else? It is what it is. Anyhow, at least I have real hair. Yeah, that's who I am, and now I'm doing this. So welcome to Something Sometime with me, Trevor Spencer. You know what? Let's just get into this, all right? You know, I wanted to come out here and talk, in the beginning about some fun stuff, because I've been planning this for a while. But you know what? What's all in the news? Oh, sexual harassment. For frig's sakes, people. Seriously? Now, you hear about it, but to see it come on such magnitude, I mean, you gotta give it to the brave people who are coming out and talking about this. But you got politicians, you got actors, and then all the regular Joes who are saying, we can't put up with this stuff anymore. And absolutely, why would you? I mean, we're in a day and age where that stuff's not acceptable. It's never been acceptable. But why has it been allowed? And you know what? I'm glad people are talking about it. But I gotta say, I gotta step in front of this before it gets out there. Okay? I am the only staff person on my show, okay? And I need to get in front of this. I need to come out and apologize to Pamela Henderson here. Pamela, sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have never abused you like that. But you're so strong. I'm sorry. But seriously, sexual harassment's not cool. Speak out, because if no one speaks out, then nothing can be done. Moving on, Australia, congrats! You've legalized gay marriage. Kind of weird that it took this long, because, in Canada, we've been legal for quite a while. And I think the rest of the world should be legal. Places that aren't, come on, get over it. Period. Who are you helping by stopping people from loving one another? I mean, in a lot of these countries, you're allowed to be gay, or lesbian, or whatever, but you're not allowed to get married? Shit, man. You know what? If straight people have to suffer, then come on, people. Everyone should. But, whatever. But seriously, love my wife. Yeah, so you know what? As I said, I am married, and I have kids. I have 4 girls. And you know what? Quite frankly, we've gone and told them, if something's not good, you need to stand up for it. And if someone tries to put their hands on you, grab his pole. My wife told him that one. Damn. But you know what? Speaking of parenting, let's go on to a segment I like to call Obvious Parenting Tips. Obvious Parenting Tips. Hey YOLO, can you go grab me the remote? Hey Swagger, did you clean your bedroom? Hey LOL, don't forget to weed eat, eh? Obvious Parenting Tips. And that was Obvious Parenting Tips. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to do more of them, because quite frankly, everyone needs to know what's obvious when you're parenting. Come on now. Anyways, we got a great show for you tonight. Our first guest is the amazingly talented Corey Marshall. next guest is Thriftdweller Nate. Nate of Thriftdwellers. He's going to be on here. We're going to talk to him. He's from YouTube. And after that, we got a amazing band called Little Tyrants. So stick around. Welcome back. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to be talking to the amazingly talented Corey Marshall. Will we talk about Kung Fu? Will we talk about his acting and stunts? Will we talk about voice acting? Will we talk about a secret video game that's coming up that's not really secret, but everyone knows about, but I don't want to talk about because he is just overwhelmed with talking about? Let's find out now. Corey Marshall, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you some serious questions, okay? Now, I told you I wasn't going to harass you with Shenmue.
All right.
So, anyone who doesn't know, he voices Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue. If you would like, please tell people who are watching about yourself. If you don't mind, I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm just going to sit over here and eat.
All right. Well, my name is Corey Marshall. As mentioned before, I'm a voice actor. I voice most famously Shenmue. I'm the Ryo Hazuki, main actor on that one. So, that's probably what most people know me for, but I've been in the business for a long time. I do a lot of stage work, and I've done stunts and all kinds of weird stuff. But, yeah.
What kind of stunts?
Let's see. Well, I did a lot of fighting stuff. I think it's probably because of my martial arts background. A lot of fights, high falls, even some driving motorcycle stuff. And what else? Oh, ratchet backs, which is where they put a cable or a wire on your back and pull you backwards really fast because there was an explosion or something like that. Stuff like that.
Would you be able to tell us how you got into the business? And by the way, I'm sorry for taking a few moments to eat breakfast stuff. It was really running late trying to set this all up. Very sorry.
Hey, that's okay. Let's see how I got into the entertainment business in general.
Yeah. Feel free.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, I kind of do a lot of stage work. That's kind of like I don't know. I think I just love that. Mm-hmm. And so when I was young, I was doing martial arts, and my instructor always thought that I was faking it whenever I got hit, like in the crotch or in the face or in the eye or whatever. He assumed that I was faking it, so he was calling me movie star. And so I kind of took him at his word and started doing stage work after that.
Very nice, very nice. Now, some people might know...
You're making me a little jealous. I kind of feel like maybe I need some mouthwash now or something.
I got some toothpaste here. Like I said, running late, sorry. So, some people might not know that this isn't the first time I've talked to you. You might not remember, but a few years back, talked to you on a podcast that I had called the Kid and Stoner Podcast.
I remember.
Yeah. And I know that you had a refresher a few months back when you talked to Jim Kitcheryukin.
Yeah.
You also collaborated on an episode I had of when I reviewed the game that I'm not going to mention, but I blatantly am mentioning anyways, Shenmue. Maybe you don't remember that. If you do, sweet. It was pretty much you and your daughter just playing around at the very end.
Oh yeah, she did. She came in and wanted to take some screen time.
Yeah, and it was awesome. But I know you very much so for your awesome Facebook posts.
Okay.
Because I absolutely love your Facebook posts. To me, you are the Stephen Colbert of Facebook. So why don't you tell people? A little bit of what I mean.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people have been kind of knowing me for the political comments that I have been putting up on Facebook. I guess, so my Facebook isn't just Shenmue. I guess when people look me up, they think maybe that's what I'm all about, or maybe that's my Shenmue Facebook page or whatever, but really it's just my personal page, and I put whatever I want up there. And yeah, it's about, we have some stuff about games and technology and all that kind of fun stuff, but really it's probably about, religion or politics or whatever. And if you're mentioned Stephen Colbert, then yeah, it's probably because I do put a lot of politics up there, a lot. And it's just, whatever's coming to my mind or whatever's on the news that day, and I just had to put it out there. I mean, it's just my own personal, page. I can do with it what I want, and some people are not happy with it, but I guess some people are.
I love it. I love scrolling through, seeing all the things. I don't want to dwell too much on this because it is, hard for people in your country. But how do you feel about the current state on gun laws in your country?
Yeah. Well, I think probably a lot of people on the outside can really look at it and say, I mean, why not? Things kind of need to change. Things need to be a little bit different than they are now. We can't keep going in the same direction. Something does need to change. Now, I don't know. I've kind of explain myself a bit. Myself, I guess being an American, I do own firearms. I'm a firearms owner. I tend to buy more, or I want to buy more. I want to train more. I want to have a small collection. It's kind of like I have my sword collection over here. I have my unarmed combat that I've been training since I was a child, and I think firearms could be a part of people's lives. I think that people could own them responsibly, and I think people could own them, or I should say they could, it could be a part of people's lives without it being, and I think a lot of gun owners have this same attitude where they say, well, I've had this since I was a kid, and I've always had it responsibly, and my grandfather gave me my first rifle when I was this age, and...
Well, if you don't mind me interrupting you for a moment.
Yeah.
You mentioned the comments of, well, I've had this since I was a kid and stuff, which brings me to this. I've had this since I was a kid.
Right?
And These are highly illegal in your country.
They are.
These nice little treats.
You cannot have that.
If I were to bring this across the border, I would be arrested. This would be taken away, and I believe I would be fined like $5,000 or something.
See, here's the funny part, right? So we're not. You can't trust our children with eggs that might have a toy in it.
Yeah.
Because we're scared that they might die. But you can't trust. But you can trust us to have any firearm that we could want.
Yeah.
At any time, anywhere. I guess. I don't know. I think that. How some laws, dude, hey, you're doing that in front of me.
I mean, like, this is so criminal, you know?
So for people who don't know, we can't have that because we're scared that children are going to kill themselves by just shoving the whole egg into their mouth and dying and choking on the toy.
Or because it comes with a little toy inside.
Oh, right. So
Look,
it has the capsule and the toy.
A car. Hey, I really hate to do this, but you know about those capsule toys.
I do. I have a lot of experience with capsule toys. I do. So yeah, I mean, if you're asking about my personal opinion, look, I think that people should be able to have eggs with toys in them. I think that people could have firearms, but I think that maybe there's a couple of assholes out there who ruin it for everybody, and I think we need just to have some very common sense gun laws, and that's that. That's, if you want my opinion, that's it. But I want those eggs too, because I'm a big fan of capsule toys, and in fact, my daughter loves capsule toys too, and she's missing out as well.
Oh, and they come in different themes: Paw Patrol, Trolls, Marvel, all these fun things.
And she loves all of that too, and I can't give it to her. What can I say? I tell you what, maybe when we cross the border, we'll have to smuggle some across the country.
Didn't hear it from me.
Or across the border, wow.
You didn't hear it from me. You dropped the word asshole. How does it feel on American TV? You can't say asshole. How as an American citizen does that feel? You can say ass. You can say hole. But you can't say asshole.
Yeah, you can't put them together.
No. For the record, in Canada, you can.
Okay.
You can pretty much say anything.
You can say some things.
You can say shit, you can say bastard, all those fun things.
Yeah.
Sorry if there's a little
Yeah. So you're asking me about, like, how do I feel? So here's another thing, too, about my daughter. I don't censor her, and I also, when we talk around the house, she'll say that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I say, look, the only thing you need to do is don't say it around your teacher, because your teacher will be very upset, or adults would be very upset. And I try to explain to her that people think that words are magic, like they have, like some of them are really bad or evil, or they could do bad things to you, or she knows the difference between hurting somebody's feelings and saying a so-called bad word. So yeah, whenever me, my wife, and my daughter are speaking, she can say those words and it doesn't affect me. And it's not like she's running around the house cursing like a sailor either. She knows that when she says a word like asshole, that she might be describing something that even somebody else would say. But I can't get mad at a child for saying something that I say. So, I try to explain to her, look, some people think that you're a bad person if you use those words, especially a child, because they think that children are not supposed to be using or hearing these words. But I try to explain to her, look, everybody uses these words. No, everybody wants to pretend like you're not supposed to. But look, I tell you what, you just don't say it around your teacher, and I think everything will be okay.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, if you hold on right there, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. Let's just jump into it. Let's get into it. Let's go to part 2 of my interview with Corey Marshall.
We're back with Corey Marshall. So we were talking about kids just before, and I myself have kids. I have 4 kids. And I want to ask you, have you had the talk?
The talk?
The talk. And if so, how did you approach it? Because I got a good story for me.
Okay, good, okay. Me and my wife we've been kind of doing this talk. I don't think we sit down and we have a talk. I think we've been doing it over time. And in fact, we will be very open about, hey, this is how babies are made. And we even saw a book in the bookstore about how babies are made. Mm-hmm. And we'll tell her, like, hey, look, daddy does this, mommy receives that, you know what I mean? And this is how babies are made. I mean, we'll even the book in the bookstore had pictures and everything, and so we talk about that. And then she's 8 now, so we've been kind of talking to her about boys and what boys want and all those kinds of things. I think it's been a long, several year talk for us. I think we've been just talking to her about everything for a while. Like I said, we don't really censor anything from our child. We just try to let her know that this is what happens. Mm-hmm. And we tell her, look, animals do it, we do it, everybody does it. So it's been a long, few years, I think. Yeah. We haven't sat down and had a talk. So are you telling me that you sat down and you had a talk?
So I sat down with my oldest, and I dreaded this for years, but I figured I gotta tackle it. Had this big book, had the whole plan, laid it out. It went good. That was fine and dandy. Her sister, who's a year younger than her, I wanted to wait a little bit more. We're sitting watching TV, and there's a TV show called The Goods. It airs on CBC. It's like a talk show, kind of like The Talk or The View or whatever. And she was, just off to the room doing some schoolwork, and we had the TV on, and didn't expect this. Their topic was, can a penis get stuck in a vagina? Guess it's time for a talk now.
Yeah.
You can't escape that one. For the record, a penis can get stuck in a vagina.
I know. You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because we encountered, I think, a video online, and sort of the same thing, where she was actually in the room at the time, and we were kind of horrified and laughing at it at the same time, and thought, oh wow, that's kind of a horrible thing. But she also was curious, and we're like, hey, look, these things can happen. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. You know what helps too is that she wants to be a doctor when she grows up, so she's also very curious about the human body. And I've even opened up surgeries online that freak me out. You know what I mean? Like knee surgeries, eye surgeries. When I saw the eye surgery, I was like, man.
Eye surgeries are painful to look at.
She was watching it. She was better than I was. I was a little woozy, and she was fine. So.
Completely, kind of the same, because you mentioned Doctor. Mm-hmm. Am I correct in believing you're a Doctor Who fan?
Yeah, I am. It's funny because I'm kind of a late Doctor Who fan. The Doctor Who came... we have that one! And so Doctor Who came on Hulu, and we were all excited. We all sat down as a family. Oh, dude, you're making me jealous. Wait, you're segueing into phallic things that may get stuck into sonic screwdrivers, right?
Of course.
But yeah, so we need to finish a couple of seasons actually. So don't give me any spoilers on the last few seasons.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you know. This happens. At some point in time, the Doctor dies. Sorry. Had to put that up there. Also, that companion you like doesn't stick around.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah. So, fun fact, a Canadian invented Doctor Who.
Really?
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Sidney
a
Newman.
Canadian who was in the UK or
Yes.
brought it to the UK?
He used to work for the CBC, then he moved to the UK, worked for ITV and BBC, and he created it. And back in the 80s, when it was starting to struggle, he suggested a female doctor.
Huh.
Granted, not one dressed like a bag lady, but
Right.
we will see how that goes.
Or Mork from Mork and Mindy, right?
Of course. Mork from Ork. If I was sitting on a couch, I'd sit down like Mork, but that's not happening. You know, one of the things that I like about Doctor Who is they have a lot of crossovers, it seems, actor-wise, with DC. And someone who stands out is John Barrowman, who happens to be a singer, which makes me think, didn't you used to sing?
Yeah. I do have a little bit of singing background, sure. I'm not a Pavarotti or anything, but yeah, I could hold a tune. Why do you ask?
Oh, I just wondered if you'd maybe break out into song.
Oh man. All right, so here's the thing: I'm a bass, y'all. So I'm not a Justin Timberlake. I'm not one of those high girly voices. I'm a man voice. All right, so I have to sing something classic. All right, so I can sing like "Old Man River, that old man river, he just keeps rolling along." How's that?
Excellent. That was awesome. I'm not gonna sing for you. Not gonna sing for you though. Sorry.
All right.
I was gonna ask you to sing "O Canada," but your song was.
Let's see.
What do you know of "O Canada"?
Probably just the first part. So it's like, "Oh Canada, our home and native land, glorious and free." What is it? How's it go?
It's "O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, with all our sons command." And it goes on. But we're changing our anthem though.
Well, you know what it is? Probably because I memorized one that's 15 verses in, and maybe that's the one that you're forgetting.
No. But we are going to be changing.
It goes on forever, right? Are we talking about right?
It doesn't go on forever. No, it's actually genuinely pretty fast.
Okay, all right.
But in America, you guys seem to change your songs around. You know, I mean, hey, we had to burn down part of your White House. It is what it is. You don't have to put it in song. We remember. You remember. Come on, we're friends now.
Well, we tend to do that here in the States. We tend to remember. See, me being from Texas, like we have tattooed "Remember the Alamo." You know, when we're young. I don't know if you guys even know what the Alamo is, but the Texans and the Mexicans had a fight way back in the day, and it was about how Texas, wanted Mexico's territory, and there were a bunch of free people out there. Anyway, so there was a kind of insignificant battle between the Texans and the Mexicans that happened at the Alamo, and for some reason that is like what we have a hard-on about all the time in Texas. And so we have to remember the Alamo, and then we have to glorify what you just talked about, the burning down of the White House. We have to put that in song so we can remember that every single time that we sing it. And then, of course, we have other things that we had to deal with too, like 9/11. We always have bumper stickers that say "Never Forget" and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't think I'm going to forget that, but sure. I mean, we like to have "Remember the Alamo" tattooed, and maybe
do you have a tattoo?
Bumper sticker. Yeah. I do not have any tattoos.
No tattoos?
Maybe that's why I'm not a true Texan anymore, right?
Well, you don't live in Texas anymore. Fair enough. Let's see what I got on my list here of things.
But I do know how to fight with a Bowie knife.
Please tell me about that. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, I mean, again, just with...
Unless it's incriminating. I mean, if it's going to be a horror story.
No, I shouldn't say I haven't actually fought with a Bowie knife and had to, split somebody from neck to nuts, as they say. But, yeah, I think also because I do, like, outdoor stuff.
We're talking about
maybe
guns
that's
again.
why big knives come into to play with that, too. Axes, big knives. I don't know.
I had to eat this because we're talking about guns and knives.
Hey, so what is it? Why is it that Canada can have guns responsibly, but the United States can't?
Something in your water. It's because you guys don't have the Kinder Surprise. There's something in it that just makes you click.
Oh, so you're telling me...
That's why
You're
it's
telling me
prohibited.
that we could have best of both worlds? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's why it's prohibited, because they know if you eat the Kinder Surprise, you'll be like, ooh, this is fun. My 2-year-old doesn't need a gat.
See, I think maybe for a lot of American viewers that are people from the United States, I should say, that are viewing this, maybe they think all firearms are banned in Canada and nobody can have anything, but it's not true, right? I mean, you guys can have all kinds of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Hunting is a thing in Canada. We're allowed guns.
Yeah.
You're allowed to protect. You're allowed to carry them if you have, special licenses and stuff. Keyword licenses.
Right.
I can't just go to the store and buy a gun. I can buy a BB gun, a pellet gun. That's all peachy keen. But even then, you still need to be of a certain age.
Speaking of Texas, I think there was a time, if I remember correctly, that when you opened up a bank account, there was a bank that would give you a free shotgun.
Oh, that was in a Michael Moore movie.
Yes, that's what
Fahrenheit
it was.
9/11.
Yes. So that stuff's real.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, in case I really, really need a gun with my bank account. I mean, I guess I guess if I can't settle with free tablets or TVs or game consoles and stuff, and I just need that shotgun that I'll get so much use out of in the city.
Yeah. Well, you never know when the zombies are coming.
That's why I lock myself in the basement. And I don't.
See, the Canadians are safe because it's cold up there, and if
true.
there was ever an apocalypse, the zombies would just freeze. It's not, that's why we have to have 26 different types of guns and every different kind of ammunition, just in case.
Plus, our country supplies the world with the majority of its food, so I mean, we're good. We're set. Fun fact
what can I say?
that. But it is what it is. Have you ever been to Canada?
Yeah, but only on vacation for a short time, and I'm kind of saddened by that fact. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where you go up to Niagara Falls and you kind of hop over the border, you get some Cuban cigars, that kind of thing, and but everything I hear seems pretty nice, and you guys seem pretty nice, so maybe I should spend some more time up there.
We try to. I mean, I'm not dropping all the A's, or the boots. I'm trying really hard to hold back the extra Canadian. Couldn't help but bring the Tim Hortons. Couldn't help that. That had to happen.
Well, I don't want to sound like because we're really sensitive about this here in the States, but I've actually even contemplated moving up to possibly British Columbia.
That's where I am. BC.
I know.
Well, you know what? If you come, I will hook you up with Kinder Surprises. Absolutely. Kinder Surprises galore. I'll make it rain, Kinder Surprises.
Yeah.
You can get them
See,
almost
some
anywhere.
people move out of California because we're not a so-called free state here. So, but if I move up to Canada, I don't know. It's Canada and California are really they're kind of like maybe step siblings or something,
Well,
I
don't know your stance on this, okay? And I'm not trying to out you or whatever. But next year in Canada, legal.
Oh,
Fully. Not trying to
we're getting that somewhere around, a couple of states here and there, but California still has medical only, and I think we're all working on getting everything legalized.
Well, our prime minister is the one who suggested it.
I know. So. See, right? Well, what are we gonna do? So my wife's Filipino, right? And we talked about. She saw a video where Justin Trudeau, your prime minister, went to the Philippines, ended up posting up at a Jollibee, and everybody was crowding around him like he was Justin Bieber or something, and all the ladies were talking about how handsome he was and how what a fantastic leader he was. And I don't know if that's just because of how handsome he was or if they actually knew about his leadership skills. But it was like he was a movie star, and then
he wasn't TV shows and stuff. He's acted.
Yeah, so our president shows up, and I saw a flying swastika thing with flames behind it, with the ugly face of Trump and everything. And so that's the difference between where you and I are at this very moment. But I think most Californians we're very quick to say that Trump is not their president. So
I've watched all those videos from celebrities saying such things. Unfortunately, I suppose a lot of the demographic in California were probably, let's say, enjoying their munchies instead of necessarily promoting voting for Democrats around or other parties. Perhaps, I don't know. I know in Canada. I know in Canada we all voted for Trudeau because we're like, sweet.
Well, yeah. Well, I just talked about how some other people say that we're not a free state, right? But at the same time, we have a lot of other freedoms that other states don't have. Mm-hmm. And I think that I think we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but we're the United States in general is just a little slow on things. I don't.
Fair enough. So before I wrap this up, are there things you want to promote, say, talk about yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I got this project coming up soon. It's a game. I know we're not here to talk about games, but if anybody wants to check out, that's the third installment of that sneak peek right down there. I don't know. Maybe people can go online and look it up. Yeah, there we go.
We're not talking about that.
I think everybody knows there's a third game coming up, and that's basically what I'm doing right now. Haven't started that project yet, everybody, so don't get excited. Hasn't happened yet, and I mentioned before in the past, I think it's going to be pretty quick. I think they're going to call me up, and they're going to wonder what I'm doing like next week, and I think I'm just going to have to go in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But so if you guys want to talk about anything on Facebook, you guys can look me up on Facebook. I'm there. And you know what? It's if you don't agree with me, look me up. You know what I mean? I will definitely talk to you. And I think I think it's important to talk about things that people are uncomfortable with.
Absolutely.
All the time. In fact, I think you guys need to challenge me if you disagree with me, and I'll challenge you back, and let's see if we can have a little back and forth. All right, you guys can talk to me, I'll talk to you, and we'll try to work some things out. You know what? And if I can never change your mind, then that's fine. If you don't think that you could ever change my mind, I often say this. It's like with politics and all kinds of life philosophies or religion or whatever. Sometimes it's not about you and me, about some outside observer that might be looking at our conversation and trying to make up their own mind. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're on the fence about religion, and they say, hey, I don't know, maybe it doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And if you and maybe you're a theist, and I'm having a conversation with you, maybe that could help make up somebody else's mind. So it may not be about just you and I. It might be about somebody else. So let's have that conversation, and let's get uncomfortable, because that's where we can try and find some truth.
Absolutely. Well, I think we can all agree that racism and bigotry is just not cool.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I don't really condone violence out in the streets, but when Nazis were getting punched in the face, I just thought, man, that sounds like my own personal Valhalla. Like, I could literally punch Nazis in the face all day and I would be happy, but I don't know. I don't condone violence in the streets, so that
Absolutely. Well, I get it. Hey, every revolution is fought differently.
Yeah.
Just before we go, I do have one last question, because we were talking about fighting just now, and it is about Shenmue. Who would win in a fight, Ryo Hazuki or Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. Are we talking Shenmue 1, or are we talking probably what's going to happen in Shenmue 3? Because he's getting pretty insane, and I'm talking about Ryo Hazuki here. He's getting stronger and stronger every day.
Well, he's been hiding in the cave. What else are you going to do?
Well, you know what? I've definitely been working on my chi for the last 14, 15 years, right? So I'm just gonna unleash it all when I get out. But no, I think Ryo Hazuki's getting magical, mystical. I think maybe we're gonna see something pretty powerful for him in the future. So I'm gonna have to go Hazuki here. He's gonna take it.
Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you for being here today. Always a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'll see you again, right?
Of course. Please always come back.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Sega Stoner Review coming at you right now.
Talking about Sonic 1 on Android. Now you're probably wondering, is it like the Genesis version, the Master System version, the Game Gear version? Well, you know what? It's like the Genesis version. And the music is great. It's almost like the Genesis version. Slightly different because, hardware versus emulation. But it's great. Is the game good? Yeah. And there's even time trials. Before there wasn't time trials. And you have the option to play as Tails and Knuckles. I didn't unlock them for some reason. I must have to play the game longer. I didn't yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Game's pretty good. Something I don't understand is I don't recall Sonic being able to do the charge dash, but apparently he can. So, whatever. I'll double check it. I haven't played the first one in a while. But you know what? I will, because the game's good. I did notice that it lagged a bit on the second area. And actually, after I beat the second area first level, it crashed. Game completely crashed. That sucked. I started up again and I was able to continue. So, not a total loss. Whatevs. As far as the game goes, it's good. It's good. Except a little slippery too. Since you're not pushing buttons, you have to slide. It's slippery, so you will die. And your fingers are in the way. That sucks. I guess you get what you get, right? It is an Android game on your phone or a tablet or whatever. But it's Sonic. It's Sonic 1. It's great. Everyone loves Sonic. What can I say? Time trials. It's essentially the levels. It's nothing special. And you have to unlock the levels in the first place, so you're just going to be playing them again. So just play the game. It's so much better. And you can save. You can save your game in it. What? You save? Yeah, you can do it. So you might as well. Achievements, if you like that kind of thing, they're in there. There's options. There's tons of things. And you know what? There's a free version and a paid version. I played the free version. There's tons of ads. But you know what? It's free. So enjoy the ads. Whatever. Game's, like 25 plus years old. But it's a beautiful game. It's 16-bit. It's great. Anyways, do I think you should get Sonic 1 on Android? Yeah, it's free. Why not? Do it. If you like it, pay for it. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Sonic 1 on Android. Ladies and gentlemen, so, you know what? Let's move on to our next guest. It is Nate from Thriftdwellers. You know what? I feel like I need to give back to the YouTube community from when I started and the few years following that when, everyone was just bonding like great. When everyone rose up with each other and was just supporting. So, you know what? I feel like supporting a Canadian group, a Canadian channel. And, you know what? They are from Manitoba. So, without further ado, let's talk to Nate from Thriftdwellers. Clip. Well, Nate from the Thriftdwellers in a moment. And he doesn't know that there's not going to be any audio for his ears, but there will be for our ears. So, we'll have fun. And remember, youtube.com/Thriftdweller. How's it going, Nate from Thriftdwellers, who can't hear me right now?
Hold on.
Oh,
Chill.
you can't hear us, but I know he can't. So,
Hear me okay?
oh, I can hear you, Nate. You can't hear me, though. So, this is Nate from Thriftdweller. And the best... Oh. Oh. Don't hang up. No matter what. Hi again, Nate from Thriftdwellers, who can't see me, or can't hear me, I mean.
Why can't I hear you?
You can't because of the way I'm recording this. So everyone, this is Nate from Thriftdweller. They go around and they go thrifting, and he reviews things like all the statues behind him, and they go and get games, and that's Nate. There's also a guy named Lester. Oh, he hung up again. Oh my gosh. For some reason, Nate keeps getting dropped. I don't know why, but let's do this fast. He's Nate. There's also Lester and Ian and whoever else they want to add. And see, sometimes he thinks I am, but he doesn't want to. He slightly did it and said I was. But anyways, quickly saying, look at this. He can't see me. Now I gotta go poop because I got pizza. Ah! So I hope you enjoyed my interview with Nate from Thriftdwellers. You know what? What can I say? A little bit of tech difficulty. That's how it is, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Let's move on. Musical act, Little Tyrants, with their song, Burn It Down. Burn it down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. I mean, for less than the cost of going from Aldergrove to Vancouver on transit, you got this show. All right. For those who don't understand it, you're looking at under $20. That's how much it costs to make this show about. So you get what you get. I don't know what to say. Maybe we'll do some more in the future. Hope we do, because I want to do this. Because I want to do this every couple weeks, you know? Because that's why it's Something Sometimes with Trevor Spencer. Alright, people, stay classy. Peace out. I got my own show. 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 My own show. My own show.